now looked at that video understands that Sam was who Sam always has been, and that was peaceful and non-aggressive. We want his memory to remain intact as a peaceful person, and we do not want any violence, any anger to come out in a way that denigrates who he was and who we want to be remembered as. This is an opportunity now that Cincinnati has to do this in a proper way. We've now made a huge first step, because in a situation where sometimes people believe that officers are not held accountable for their actions, in this case, one is being held accountable. So Cincinnati is showing the rest of us how to do this right. I'm not a Cincinnatian, but I do know that the country is now looking at Cincinnati as to how you're going to react to this, and we're just asking that it be done in a way that moves us forward, and that fellow Cincinnatians and fellow law enforcement officers looking at this case can be proud of. So,
my son was killed by a cop unjustly. I got to know that it's many more people out there is being killed by cops unjustly. And like people was on the battlefield for me, I want to be out there on the battlefield for them, but in God's name. And, you know, knowing that God is going to fight the battle, not me. I'm just a soldier in it.
We knew the video was going to vindicate our brother. My brother is 1 year younger than me, and I've known him his whole life. And I've known him to never, ever run from a police officer. His record, as bad as anyone wants to make it, proves he has no problem being arrested. I am appalled every time I think about what I've been reading about my brother. I've been reading everything. You know, he's just one other thug in the neighborhood. I don't care if he was a thug in the neighborhood. He didn't have a gun. He didn't do anything to that officer. No one deserves this. So I'm angry, but I'm as pleased as I could be that we're actually going to get some kind of justice for Sam. I knew when he said he was shot in the head by a police officer that just didn't register for me unless the police officer just killed him. Now, I knew I was never going to be able to prove that, but I knew that's what had to have happened. And I'm sure a lot of other families around the country know that. They just don't have any video camera, or maybe they don't have a good enough attorney, which I thank God for. I don't know. Or maybe there's not a prosecutor that actually cares enough to do the right thing, or a grand jury, hallelujah, that will look at the case and say, let's really look at this case. I think there's enough to prosecute without the video camera. I think that. But I just think it would have been much more difficult because people don't listen. They just look at stereotypes. And my brother was about to be just one other stereotype. And that's not going to happen.